What's it YouTube, Dell here from Zephyr, and today bringing you more commentary from a live door at Locals. Don't worry, I do fix the camera shot in a short while, but on the left hand side we have Fiendsmith, Kashtira, and on the right hand side we have Regenesis, Dogmatika, with a very small Kashtira package themselves. So starting off with Planet Rysoff, searching ourselves out Fenrir, summoning down Fenrir, and then being able to search out Unicorn, normal summon Fable Lorry, and pretty much go full Fiendsmith combo, unless there is any form of interaction from the Regenesis side. So stop me if you've seen this before. Going into Lacrima, of course, will send an Engraver from the deck to the grave, and then you're going to be able to use Engraver's effect to put back possibly Lorry to summon itself back to the field, and that then opens up the door for DDD High Wave King if you want to keep it simple, or of course it can work its way into Desiree if you want to be a little bit more risky. So it looks like we're going to be going into the High Wave King Caesar play on this one, so overlaying the Neko Quip and Engraver to make the High Wave King, then activating Birth and moving on from there with one more additional set card. So Regenesis are going to draw for turn and see where we can kind of build from this. Apologies on the, I need to update the settings of the camera because it looks like it's on auto focus. It looks like we are main decking Ultimate Slayer, sending the Adjugator straight away, dealing with both of those cards, getting rid of the High Wave King and negating the Fenrir. It looks like we're going to early doors activate the Lacrima to summon out the Requiem, and then Requiem's effect, here we go as we try and fix the camera, to then tribute itself off and special summon one from the deck. And it looks like we're going to be chaining code, question mark. Yeah, so we're chaining code, resolving the Requiem to summon out the Lacrima. We now have Sage on the field, which is the Omni-Negate, which does provide protection with the trap card as well. So we're going to be using Lacrima's effect to tempt him to send. And it looks like we're going to Sage to negate that one by getting rid of the code and destroying it, which is quite useful considering the field is technically negated by that one card along the back row. Normal summoning down the Ecclesia, so this is like the Dogmatika package. I spoke to them after the event, just curious as to what they were playing. I think they were on 3 Nadir, or they said they were on 3 Nadir, 1 Fleur-de-Lis, and 1 Ecclesia, which is quite interesting. There's no Maximus involved, but that might be to make sure they don't kind of give your opponent advantage by taking away, like, making them send cards from the extra deck. So we went with Genesis Archfiend, and this is where the hybrid of the Dogmatikas work, is because you can reveal the Fleur-de-Lis having 2500 attack to get you your Archfiend to the field. Looks like we've gone straight into Lord to get the Regenesis Birth, which will be the trap card. Now, Regenesis Lord is going to be 5k in the battle phase. Unless there's a card along that spell and trap zone, you would assume that Sage would probably... Oh no, because Fenrir is up. Is it attack and defense? I think it is attack and defense that Fenrir is up because of Rysoff, as there is light, earth, and water on the field. So I think its baseline is 27-27. I'm pretty sure Rysoff is attack and defense. Because if I remember rightly, it upgrades or increases the attack stats of Kashtira, Scareclaw Kashtira, which is obviously attacks and defense. So we're going direct in for Ecclesia and of course the Sage. We've got the Regenesis Birth, which will act as like a Book of Moon. And then we've got Sage that still has the Omni-Negate because we know that it can send Lord, or of course it can send Birth once Birth has done the Book of Moon effect, and send in a Regenesis. So it sends us cost, which is really important, and targets. So special summoning down the Unicorn. Do you want to leave Unicorn on the field? And activating Birth is probably one of the best ways of doing this because it's going to send us cost and then flip the Unicorn face down. So it shuts off any more Kashtira cards being able to flood the field, and it also stops the Unicorn from being able to utilize its effect to grab what you could assume could be a Theosis. Birth is still in rotation, which means if he wants to use Birth to bring back the Fenrir, they can do, which looks like exactly what's going to happen here. Sage still has the Omni-Negate if Fenrir tries to search, and if Fenrir tries to attack anything, or banish anything when it attacks. So... I mean, Fenrir is definitely strong enough right now to go to the battle phase and just destroy the Sage. So it could just go Fenrir, attack the Sage, clear it off. Unless there is a card along the spell and trap zone to kind of like deal with that Fenrir. It does kill the Sage, which doesn't make a big difference because the Sage will be coming back during the end phase anyway, as will the Warrior, I believe is what was sent off of the Birth. Remembering that the Birth can still... I believe the Birth can Book of Moon during either player's turn, but it can only send itself and revive as many Regenesis from the graveyard and banishment as possible if it's during your opponent's turn. So we're going Engraver's Effect, Engraver going into Requiem. God, the resource loop of this engine is just absolutely disgusting. Call by the Grave would be pretty funny on this one. Oh, Tikaboo though. That is quite interesting. I do like that in this particular deck because I don't know why they put the Ecclesia to the graveyard. They bring it back because obviously Lord is an illusion and Ecclesia is a spellcaster. The only issue by activating there can only be one right now is it locks them into not being able to have Sage on the field, and they can't get Fleur Delis to the field either. So I'm not sure if you could have waited a little bit. Because would I've... I mean, the Tikaboo doesn't stop the Requiem coming... the Engraver coming back to the field. Like, that would happen regardless. What it does stop is it stops them going into a Fiend monster. But what you had the ability for, if you held it back a little bit, is... Let's say they would go to Sequence... Maybe they go SP Little Knight to try and banish a card, but if they go to... They would have to go into an extra deck monster first anyway. So you'd go Sequence... And then when you use Sequence's effect, if you then activate, you could then activate There Can Only Be One, and then if you wanted to, because there's a monster on the extra deck on the field, you could summon out Fleur Delis from the hand, and that would then negate the sequence. Yes, you would then be forced to send the Ecclesia if you do it in the correct chain, but you could have saved the Tikaboo is what I'm saying here. Not that it makes a big difference, because we still was able to recycle Warrior and... Sage in the end phase back to the hand. We're now getting the ability of Archfiend to search out Dragon. So you've got a Fiend on the field, a Spellcaster on the field. You only need to worry about activating any monster effect for Fenrir. Their attack stats will be up the more you put down, but it still gives you the ability. Oh, it looks like Fenrir used the effect to banish the Birth, which is kind of cool. Summon down the Warrior, summon down the Dragon. Currently, Rice-Off is what's causing the issue. You could, and this is the other thing that the grind of the Fiendsmith Kashtira decks just provide you, is you don't want to clear their field, because if you clear their field, they're just going to keep coming back to you. So it looks like we're going to treat Dragon to get rid of the Rice-Off, which is an interesting approach, because then it means it stops the attacks going through. Sorry, it means the attacks can go through, because the attack stats will be strong enough. Ooh, Super Poly, that's big. Fenrir and Archfiend. To go into Mud Dragon. Okay. That's interesting, because Mud Dragon will protect from the targeted if you wanted to. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to use Warrior's Effect here. I would do exactly that. I'll just attack that. Tap the Engraver. He's crashing into the Engraver to get the to get the Sage back, actually. Main phase 2, summon down the Sage, sets up the Omni Negate, set one card, and pass. We know the one card left in the hand is Fleur Delis. I mean, Unicorn's just going to get flipped face up. I don't believe there's any effect that's going to be used here. What I mean by that is I don't think there's any effect that's going to be used by the Unicorn. Like, I don't think they play Theosis. I could be wrong, but if you're on the Fiendsmith version, you're probably not going to be playing Theosis. So, putting the Lacrima... Activating Paradise, putting the Lacrima back, and then sending the Sage, which gets rid of the Omni. Drawing for turn. Like, the grind, like, all we know is Burst's now just going to bring back Fenrir. Fenrir could search out Unicorn if it wants to, which can then be normal summoned because of Birth. Engrave is going to try and out the Warrior, so Warrior could use its effect if it wanted to. Ooh, flip at the Skill Drain, that's pretty big. This is what's quite good in the Regenesis, is the only thing that Skill Drain will turn off would be... Well, I say turn off, is it turns off Archfiend and it will turn off Sage, which can be quite annoying, but your Warrior and Dragon are free to roam. I suppose it also turns off the Lord as well, but you want to kind of keep it... Like, the Skill Drain just keeps it to a simplified game state. If you're just able to constantly keep summoning out 2,500 beaters over and over and over again, that can get very, very... annoying or very powerful as well. It could be very overwhelming. So Skill Drain stops the Requiem being able to destroy. None of the monsters are strong enough to deal with Warrior, so going to be drawing for turn, which will be in the Dear Servant, which I don't believe there are any more targets left, so they can't send because they got the Fleur Delis in the hand and the Ecclesia is in... Is the Ecclesia banished or in the graveyard? Maybe it could do. Let me just double check this one. I swear. Because you can ghost spell Nadir Servant, can't you? Yeah, from the deck or graveyard. So he could activate it to add the Ecclesia back from the graveyard. It's just such an unknown effect because everyone is always adding a Dogmatika from the deck, but could add the Ecclesia back. Unless it got banished. Maybe it got banished face down with Birth. Or that was a lot earlier. Trying to keep up on this one. This is a very, very grindy game. Like, this is still game one. I've double speeded the video. So, like, this isn't how fast they're playing. Shocker. Draw for turn. It looks like it's just Fenrir. They can't flip up the Unicorn right now because of Tikaboo. It's probably, was it worth bringing back Unicorn? At least, because what you could have done is you could have flipped the Unicorn, crashed into a 2500 monster, and then Birth to bring back Fenrir. Maybe, if that option was something you wanted. Because now all we're going to be doing is you're just going to be going Warrior, Attack, Birth, Revive. I think the best way to out this is that during the end phase, you use Warrior to tribute it off to return the Fenrir back to the hand. And then go from there. Flip Unicorn, normal summon Ash, Synchro into Cheng Ying. Cheng Ying is negated under skill drain, but it's still a 3k boss monster. That can kill Warrior. I feel that they forget that Warrior can be used under skill drain. I could be wrong here. There could be a reason for it. But Birth, bring back Unicorn, Engraver, Requiem equip to Engraver to make it. It makes it 24, and then 25 off of Unicorn, 24 off of Engraver. I think that's like the first damage apart from the skill drain. Warrior comes back to the hand, draw for turn. I don't think there's a lot of damage left to be made. So activate Ultimate Slayer, target the Cheng Ying, which will return the Cheng Ying to the extra deck, and then you send them along, which returns another monster on the field to the hand, which will be that. And then you've got Engraver, which is the weaker one. Warrior revealed for Archfiend, summon down, and then just 5k. Well, not 5k, but like 26 for game, which I think was like the last little bit of damage that was needed. Moving into game two, so obviously the Fiendsmith Kashtira player hoodwinks his opponent and makes them go first, which they probably weren't expecting. But Nadir 7 send Garura. This is where I quite like the idea is, because I asked them after this, I was like, are you main decking the Dogmatikas and then siding in the Kashtiras for going second? Because I was like, if you're siding in the Dogmatikas and you go first, you activate this, and what I really like is always going for the Shadal Winderlock. I know it's degenerate, but if you can Winderlock your opponent, why not? So it looks like we did Nadir 7 to draw to try and get to Archfiend. Archfiend gets Veiled, set in 2 and passing. Draw for turn, standby, main, Lightning Storm, take out the back row. Is their combo, and it looks like they just scoop up and go to game 3 on this one, because I think there was only like 10 minutes left, maybe less. Set 1 pass. Oh, look like both hoodwinked each other. So Cash makes them go first. Set Super Poly, activate Duster, blow that out, activate Regenesis Code. Gets ashed. No cool buy for that one. Set 2, set 3. Oh, let's hope there's no Duster. Oh, there's a Duster. No. Change second code. Oh, so they opened up 2 code. 2 code, Birth, Archfiend, and then 1 unknown set, which I believe is Super Poly. So we're going to get the Sage out to the field with 1 card in the hand. So you would assume that... Oh, no, that 1 card is a Fleur Delis. So the Sage doesn't have an Omni Negate. You could have gone for Archfiend. Oh, he's opened up all breakers and no starters. Yo! So Sage is going to get sent to the graveyard during the end phase, which then allows you to add it back to the hand. Maybe do you go Archfiend? Probably could have gone Archfiend off of Birth, right? Because then the Archfiend would have searched you out another card. It activates in the graveyard, and we are literally just cutting off resource on this one. So go spell so that the Sage can't go back to the hand. Banish. Pretty sure Ghost Spell does that. Bring back the Archfiend. Archfiend gets Veiled again. All the hand traps. We are literally just going for top decks to whoever's going to break this. So top deck, there is 2 left in hand. Pass. Archfiend 2500. This is not a good way to go. There we go. There's the Fenrir to unlock all of this. So Fenrir is going to be getting the Unicorn. There is no disruptions on the Kashtira, the Regenesis side. So activate the Birth that you hard opened. Fenrir attack, banishes face down, and then carries through for 24, and then Unicorn for 25. I believe, if I remember rightly, there's like 100 life points difference right now. because there was two 25s from the Regenesis side, and then there's been a 24 and a 25. Looks like we're going full Fiendsmith combo, no interactions whatsoever. I believe they're trying to set up the Desiree. The Desiree would be a good Omni Negate. Well, yeah, technical Omni Negate, like a target negate. Because you'll also have the Lacrima set up. You'll have the Paradise set up as well if they've kept that in. Going for the Agmunde. There's not a lot of time left on it, but like fair play to the opponent, letting them just like combo as fast as they want. Like there's no interactions. We already know this. Birth's going to bring back Fenrir and pass. We're finishing on a Desiree and a Fenrir with 100 life points in difference. They're just checking the time on this one. I believe they've just either top decked or they've had an Ultimate Slayer for like a couple of turns now, but there's been nothing to use it on. So we're going to activate Ultimate Slayer, which obviously Desiree cannot be targeted. So that can't happen here. I don't know if there's anything left because you can't, Code can't bring back because it's banished face down. Maybe you're just going to go, maybe you T-set pass, but pass, and I think just time got called there. There's Super Poly, Slayer, and Archfiend with another Slayer. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.